I'm going to respond to my opponent. One of his main claims was that the flat tax will result in job loss. However, the job loss will be minimal and not damaging to society. For example, not all jobs will be lost. He specifically talked about H&R Block. It is an international company, and tax experts in the H&R Block office that's in more than 14 countries and U.S. territories. It has offices in Canada, Australia, Brazil, and India. Not every country is going to be switching to a flat tax, so in proportion, not many employees will actually be lost for the company. In addition, many of the employees are seasonal associates. H&R Block website seasonal employees don't get full wages and don't get full benefits. So in short, this is not a good long-time career opportunity anyways. Many of the people who work for H&R Block are not tax professionals. H&R Block website shows opportunities in communications, customer service, financial services, government relations, IT, human resources, legal marketing, and many other areas. The unemployment rate is 5.9% in September 2014 and is consistently going down, so it is not as hard to find work now. My opponent also claimed that the current tax code is not complex. I disagree. Simplicity does warrant a need for change when it results in loss of time and money. This current tax code is so complex that somebody who runs it doesn't fully understand it. The former IRS Commissioner, Doug Shulman, has said, "I find the tax code complex, so I use a preparer." If the man who makes the taxes can't even do his own taxes, how is that simple? Americans spend large amounts of time and money on tax preparation. Statistics show that Americans spend 6.1 billion hours preparing their tax forms. That's 140 billion a year. A degree of simplicity is important to the democratic system. People don't understand the tax code. How are they expected to make decisions affecting the tax code when they don't do their own taxes? My opponent also claimed that a flat tax would not be revenue neutral. However, it would be either revenue neutral or positive. The plan would aim to tax at a rate that would bring in the same amount of revenue under the current plan. However, as the economy grows, so will tax revenue. Around 25% with only one deduction for those who currently live below the U.S. poverty line. That's what it would be around. Calculated by the IRS and given at a later date like a tax return. Going back to his claim, everyone is being treated in the same way with the progressive tax. This is not true. There are many examples of this. For example, General Electric has become the symbol for multinational corporations that have their headquarters in the United States but pay almost no taxes. Its effective corporate tax rate averaged less than 2% from 2002 to 2012. This huge company that generates millions of dollars found a loophole to move their headquarters to an offshore site. So how is it fair that they pay a less percentage than most American households, even though they make exponentially more money? Another tax break that benefits the wealthy more than others is the mortgage deduction. Homeowners that earn more than $250,000 per year save an average of $5,459 in taxes by claiming the mortgage deduction. This is 10 times more than the average homeowners that earn $40,000 to $75,000 per year, according to economists at the University of Pennsylvania. Renters actually save nothing. So basically, if you pay $250,000 or more, your mortgage, you get a break on your taxes. But if you make $40,000 to $75,000 a year, you don't get a break. So the less you make, the less breaks you get, and that's very unfair. Low effective tax rates are a product of unfair tax loopholes, many of which encourage companies to take excessive risks and to shift jobs and profits offshore, just like I said with General Electric. This costs the government tens of billions of dollars more each year. It's also not fair because it tilts the balance in favor of taxpayers with the means to hire lawyers and accountants to find every available tax break. People with lots of money can afford lawyers to avoid getting taxed so much. People with lower incomes have no choice but to pay the standard taxes. A tax expert at the Congressional Research Service recently testified that U.S. corporations are reporting profits in Bermuda, which is a tax haven with no corporate income tax, that likely exceed that country's GDP by as much as 1,000%. A separate report has noted that more than 18,000 companies claim to be headquartered in a single 5-story building in the Cayman Islands, which obviously is, all those corporations are using a loophole. Finally, my opponent stated that the current tax code favors a particular group of people. By saying that it favors a group of people, he already made it unfair. Because it favors one group of people, it is not fair to all people.